Have you ever seen a guy acting so strange and weird around you? I mean, he looks perfect and a decent gentleman from every perspective, but as soon as you are close, you notice him stuttering, fidgeting, or doing things that make you think, is he okay? If you've experienced this, the chances are this guy has a crush on you. Yes, guys can be weird sometimes, and it can be very confusing for you. That's why in the next few minutes I shall reveal 8 weird things every guy, even the most confident ones, do when they are around their crush. This awareness will reveal his true feelings and will empower you to make a more informed decision about who you might want to get closer to or keep your distance from. So without further delay, let's begin. Number 8. He pretends to have the same interests as you. Alright ladies, rewind your thoughts to the times when you noticed him trying too hard to pretend that he likes the exact same things you do. It can be very weird sometimes when you see him completely out of his character. But let me tell you something, this is one of those weird things many guys do when they are deeply in love. Let me clarify this with a quick example. Let's say during a conversation you tell him about your favorite TV show. You explain why you like this show and why the storyline is so different from the other shows. Now, he may not find it interesting, but the next day, he lets you know that he has watched the whole season already, and he is now ready to have a discussion on the story, the characters, and the theories. Like this video if you have noticed something similar before. Similarly, he might pretend to have the same hobbies as you do. Like you go to the gym, he starts going to the gym. You spend time in the garden, and you notice him appearing there too. You play that specific video game, and he installs it too. There are just so many. But the question is, why do guys do it? And how does it mean that he likes you? You see, ladies, sometimes you do a lot of overthinking when it comes to relationships, but the minds of guys are very simple and straightforward in this aspect. They simply do it because they like you and they want to create a connection with you one way or another. But since not everyone can just come right up to you and confess his feelings, well, most guys try to find common ground that keeps them creating a conversation with their crush. And if there aren't any common interests, they might as well just pretend to have it, just to impress you, to catch your attention, or simply to make you happy. What they don't realize is how weird it can look sometimes. Now, what should your approach be in this situation as a woman? Firstly, remember that it provides evidence that the guy has a crush on you, so your approach should be according to how you see him and this relationship. If you like him back, the best way is to let him do it for some time and get close to him. But eventually, let him know that it's okay to have different interests and that he doesn't have to do the things that he doesn't like to or go out of character just for you. Encourage honesty by being open about your own likes and dislikes. Number 7. He becomes friends with your friends. Have you ever noticed a guy who's suddenly super friendly with your friends, even though they didn't seem to be on his radar before? It might seem a little odd at first, but this could be a clear sign that he's got a crush on you. When a guy starts cozying up to your social circle, it's often because he's trying to get closer to you in a more indirect way. Like, think about it. It can be very odd when he shows up at your friends' group meetings and starts chatting and laughing like they are best friends forever. He suddenly begins tagging along for group outings, sending memes in your group chats, and even asking your friends to hang out one-to-one. He fits in your circle like he was there from childhood. At first, it may look like he's just a nice and friendly person who makes friends very quickly. In reality, though, he does it for you, not for making friends. This behavior is all about strategy. By becoming friends with your friends, he's hoping to get into your inner circle without being too obvious. It's a way for him to learn more about you, hear stories, and figure out what makes you tick, all while staying under the radar. Plus, if he gets along well with your friends, he knows that they might put in a good word for him, increasing his chances of getting closer to you. This can also be a way of subtly showing you that he values what's important to you. If your friends matter to you, he wants them to matter to him. But this strategy can backfire when a guy tries way too hard to fit in. This may feel like he's forcing your friends too much, which can be creepy. So, Here's what you need to do in this situation. Firstly, if he acts like a gentleman and doesn't cross his boundaries and ensures no one is forced to become his friend, well then it is well and good. It is in fact a good thing that he is getting along with your circle and making him a more suitable partner. However, if he is way too clingy and has become someone everyone wants to avoid, then you may need serious talk. Tell him to be sincere with you and not to interrupt other people's lives just to get closer to you. Number 6. He brags on himself. Have you ever been around a guy who just can't stop talking about how amazing he is? He talks like he's on top of the world, and he is way too different from the rest of the world. This can be very cool sometimes, but can also be very weird at other times, especially when he brags way too much. For example, if he is a tall guy, he will brag a lot about his height. That doesn't mean he will look down on others, but you will notice him enjoying himself while talking about his height. If he focuses on his fitness, he will brag a lot about how he has been hitting the gym for like 5 years and has been eating clean and staying that fit. Some guys talk about their financial achievements, others might talk about how disciplined they are in life. No matter how good they are, constant bragging can make them look weird. So, here's what they actually hope to get by bragging about these things. It's pretty simple. They want to stand out. By highlighting their achievements and qualities, they're hoping to set themselves apart from the competition. It's a way of saying, hey, look at me, I'm someone worth noticing. Now, it doesn't have to be insecurities. It simply means that they want to make good impressions on you by displaying their qualities in front. They try to build a narrative where he's the hero, the guy who's got it all together and can offer you something special. And what should your approach be? You see, if his intentions are good, then there is nothing wrong with him. If he's not looking down on others and only talks about himself in a way that no one gets hurt, then he is probably a good guy who you may want to know more about. Just politely let him know that he doesn't always have to talk about his qualities to impress you. Number 5. He will creep your social media. Have you ever caught a guy liking your Instagram posts from months ago or bringing up something you shared in your story that you thought was long forgotten? If you notice a guy digging deep into your social media, it's not just because he's bored. He's probably got a crush on you and is trying to figure out more about who you are and, more importantly, the kinds of people you hang out with. The reason he wants to know more about the people you hang out with is that he wants to be like them to get your attention. Think about this. You post a picture of yourself at a concert with friends, and the next thing you know, he's asking you about your favorite bands or mentioning that he loves going to concerts too. Or maybe you share a group photo from a hiking trip, and suddenly he's talking about his latest adventures on the trails. When a guy is into you, he'll often scroll through your social media to get a better sense of your world and the people in it. You see, guys use social media for a little background research. In simple words, he likes you. He wants to know more about you, and he goes to your Instagram or Facebook accounts to do so. He looks at the people you hang out with, and this gives him a better idea of your interests. And ultimately, he tries to become like those people that you already like. And by doing so, he wants to improve his chances of getting along with you. Now, this tactic is all about trying to make himself seem familiar and relatable. So, when you catch him creeping in your social media, it's okay to let it slide. It's not like he's spying on you. He is simply trying to catch your attention. But if he starts spamming your post, then you should stop him. Let him know that the best way to get your attention is to be authentic and your true self. Trying to become someone else will not make you like them. It will only make you worse. But make sure you stay polite and encourage positive reinforcement. Number 4. He keeps sending you texts until you respond. As ladies, I'm sure you all have experienced this one. You have this guy that you've talked with once and now he won't stop sending you text messages. Even after you stop responding, he doesn't stop sending you messages. This may appear as if he really likes you or is persistent about connecting with you, but this constant behavior ultimately starts to look very creepy. So, here's how you can differentiate between a creep and a persistent guy. While a creep just spams your inbox with unstoppable streams of nonsense messages, a genuine guy uses a more polite and reasonable approach. Imagine this. You're at work or hanging out with friends and you see your phone light up. It's him. sending one message after another, first asking a question, then sending a funny meme, and then throwing a "Hey, are you there?" This kind of texting pattern is a way of trying to keep the conversation going, no matter what. He's hoping that he'll get a response and the conversation will continue. You see, when a guy has a crush on you, he often feels the need to keep your attention on him, afraid that if he doesn't stay in touch, you might forget about him or lose interest. This constant need for reassurance makes him keep texting, even when it's clear you're busy or not in the mood to chat. Another reason is excitement. He's genuinely excited to talk to you and can't wait to hear back. Each text is like a way of saying, "I'm thinking about you. I want to stay connected." And in his mind, he's just being enthusiastic and showing you that he cares. Either way, this is weird behavior and he should not force you to answer him when you don't want to. So, make sure you follow this tip. If he is a creep who won't stop spamming your inbox, it's better to get away from him for good by blocking him right away. But if he seems like a sweet guy who is just too eager to get a reply, then it is essential to set some boundaries. Let him know that you will respond at certain times and can't be available for long chats all the time because of your busy routine. Number 3. He acts clumsy and does weird movements. Have you ever had a guy who acts silly and awkward when you are around, and you are left wondering what is happening? Boys will try to taxi you just in case it's a sign that he is in love with you. When a guy is interested in a particular girl, he becomes nervous, which is why sometimes his behavior will be slightly unusual. For example, try to imagine some acquaintance you have, a man who stutters constantly or loses objects or falls over when you are nearby. He might be speaking unnecessarily or making foolish statements, all efforts aimed at winning your attention, but is ending up as ridiculous. Such behavior is not strange at all if a person has a crush on you. Nerves can also make them overanalyze any move they make. This makes them clumsy. Okay, why does this occur? This should make him act in a rather peculiar manner because of his nervousness. He is eager to impress her most of the time, only to make himself look like a loser in the end. It is his own way of telling you that he loves you and that he wants to spend time with you despite the blunders. If this is the kind of thing that you are experiencing, then maybe he is interested in you. If his awkwardness is cute, then it's a sure sign that he likes you. But if it does, just tell him softly how it annoys you. Being more laid back and relaxed around him can make him feel more at ease with your presence. Number 2. He engages in playful teasing. Did that guy ever tease you in the silliest ways? It's like he makes fun of the way you say certain words or playfully mocks your taste in music. It might seem like he's just trying to get on your nerves, but when a guy has a crush, teasing you is often his way of showing affection and getting your attention. Now, how are different ways a guy or a man can try to be playful while teasing? Understand it like this with these examples. Let's say you mentioned during a conversation that you're a die-hard fan of certain TV shows, and suddenly he's poking fun at one of the characters or the plot, all with a cheeky grin on his face. He might not even care about the show, but he's using this as a way to keep the conversation going and to make you laugh. Similarly, he might use some physical ways to tease you, like pulling on your hair lightly or making fun of the way you sit or talk. What guys don't realize is that excessive teasing is not fun anymore. This can annoy the other person, but when they do it, their intentions are completely different. For them, it's a fun way to create a connection between the two. It also allows him to test the waters without being too vulnerable. If you react positively, well, then he'll feel more confident about his chances with you. If not, he can always play it off as just joking around. So playful teasing is like a safe play from guys. What about you though? How should you react to this? Well, if you're enjoying it, then it's great. But I suggest you stay patient, even when it gets annoying. Don't ever get angry and say anything that might hurt his feelings. The best approach is to give him a taste of his own medicine, meaning that you return the favor with a similar kind of playful teasing. Realizing how it feels, a good guy will respect your boundaries and adjust accordingly. Number 1. He mimics you. Alright, ladies, the last one, which probably is also the most common weird thing among guys, is that they mimic your actions or your movements. This can be a fun way for both guys. It eases tension and people really get frank with each other, but again, the way they might do it can be very weird. Let's say you are engaged in a conversation when he does something unexpected. You cross your legs, and moments after he does the same thing. If you use a particular phrase or a slang word, he starts using it too. You might even catch him copying your laugh or repeating your catchphrases. This kind of mimicry is his way of trying to create a sense of familiarity and comfort between the two of you. It's almost as if he's saying, "Look, we're on the same wavelength." When he mimics your behavior, he's trying to show you that he's aligned with you, that he gets you, and that he's someone you can feel comfortable around. This mirroring can make interactions feel more engaging and intimate, even if it's all happening on a subconscious level. So, what should you do if you notice a guy mimicking you? First, take it as a sign of interest. It means he's paying close attention to you and wants to create a bond. If you're interested in him, this could be a good time to playfully call him out on it. You could say, "Hey, I can notice that you are copying me," and give a genuine smile. This can lead to a fun conversation and help break the ice even more. And with that, let's finish today's video right here. I hope this video helps all the ladies understand their guys better now. If this is a valuable video, please give us a like and make sure that you subscribe to our channel to get more helpful tips on relationships. We are also waiting for your insights in the comments section.